Ah! Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Gosh, man, can't catch a break. It's so stupid. Jamal Musiala is injured and could be a doubt for Dortmund on April Fool's Day. So that better be a joke. Yes, he was ruled out with a hamstring strain. It's so crazy how before the game, Nagelsmann said Musiala is young, the workload. He was, feeling some issues and still played him for 45 minutes, which led to the injury in question here. This is terrible. I mean, look, if Musiala can't play against Man City, I mean, they're saying he's out for 2 weeks, which isn't bad. Sounds terrible, but this is a perfect time to get injured, right? International break. You just don't want him to miss any important games like the one on the first against Dortmund. Look, it's not like we can't function without Musiala, but in my eyes, he's our only consistent attacker. I mean, Kingsley Coman, he's an injury away and a few games away from just being himself again, like being average. Decision making sucks sometimes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But he performs in the big games, so him and Musiala are up there for us in terms of consistent performances. But Jamal Musiala is our most consistent attacker. Not Thomas Muller, not Sadio Mane, not Leroy Sané, not Serge Gnabry, certainly not him. It's Jamal Musiala. So if you don't have him, that's going to be a huge blow. We're hoping it's not a problem against Man City, a team where we will need Musiala against, because we will play a lot of transitional football, and we need that player in tight spaces under pressure that can handle it. So hopefully he's fit for Man City. I don't think that's going to be a problem because City's, almost 3 weeks away. Wednesday will be, Wednesday marks 3 weeks. So, no, we should be fine in the grand scheme of things. I don't think it's the worst thing that could have happened. Well, I think the worst thing that could have happened was an ACL or a genuine hamstring injury. This is just a strain, which means the body is just tired. And, it's not a tear because he'd be out for, almost a month. It's just a strain. And that's the good thing here. So, hopefully he's back, but this should be another learning experience for Julian Nagelsmann. He, rightfully so, said, let me keep Musiala on the bench, rest him a little bit, because he could get injured. And then, because of his tactics and his team selections, and the way he set us up with a back three, Musiala gets injured and could potentially miss an important game against Dortmund. Nagelsmann has himself to... I mean, everyone's going, don't do that. But, I mean, that's the elephant in the room here. He wasn't going to play Musiala at halftime. He was probably waiting for maybe throughout, the 70th minute, the 80th minute, 65th minute, those kind of things, and then bring him on. But was forced to bring him on because we weren't playing well. We lost the game anyways. So, I mean, Nagelsmann has to look at himself and go, I kind of messed up here because I picked the wrong team, picked the wrong formation, which led to this moment right here. I mean, he could have brought on Gravenberch over Musiala. He didn't. He chose to take the risk, and that risk didn't pay off because Musiala is now injured and could miss an important game, which makes Dortmund harder. I mean, as much as we call Dortmund bottlers and all that, the German Spurs, they could still cause problems, and we need a player like Musiala to give us those moments of brightness and consistent attacking play. The good news is Lucas Hernandez is back training with cleats, football boots, as they call them, for the first time since his surgery. This is crazy. I gotta give credit to modern sports science or modern sport medicine. Dude, players are just recovering from injuries like Florian Wirtz. He's back, not feeling any injuries again. Sané, this guy blew up his entire knee and has got one injury since. and it was the World Cup thing, and he was back. He was on the bench. Sane, being as fit as he is, I don't know. There must have been a radical improvement in modern sport medicine, like the way players are treated with injuries and taken care of, the diets. There must be better technology, because look at Ousmane Dembele. Kingsley Coman was getting injured every week. Look at him now. When was the last time Kingsley was genuinely a hamstring? Bro, there's something happening to these players. A lot of players that used to get injured are fit consistently again. Something happened in the last 2-3 years. I think clubs found a way. Bayern players wear these wristbands that track their heart rates in training. So if their heart is if their body's just too heated up, which means that's where injuries happen, when your muscles are really active, and you can't do anything wrong. If you've ever worked out at the gym, the tightness in your muscles, right? You're tearing your muscles intentionally. Of course, if you do something wrong, like a terrible motion, like let's say you're supposed to do this, and instead you do and then your arm goes all over the place, you might injure your shoulder. And that's where injuries happen, where it's an abnormal movement in muscles that's not supposed to happen. So your muscle just tears, or something happens, a strain. I feel like with technology that tracks heart rates, before players get overheated and risk injury, they just take them out of the training session, let them do something else, cool down, and then get back to the training. That's so smart. I feel like that's helping us. Because even though Musiala is injured now, this is a good thing for me. The fact that it's just 2 weeks, it could have been a month. It could have, I feel like in previous years, this is a long-term injury, man. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. In previous years, previous Bayern, he's out for 2 months, bro. 6 months. So he is a doubt for the game against Dortmund, according to the result of the MRI scan. He will be back to fitness for the first leg against City. So it could have been worse. And that's good that he's back, but this is a learning experience for Nagelsmann. Okay. Lucas Hernandez made the next step in his rehab today. I mean, we're talking about an ACL. Lucas must be the first human to get 2 ACLs in a period of 4 years. He had one in 2018 when we signed him, and now another one. Dude, this guy could really play this year, this season. Think about it. I mean, he's going to need about a month and a half. Bro, he could play towards the end of the season. If we made it to the Champions League in June, Lucas could definitely be on the bench. Wait, something's happening. Bro, how is he recovering this fast? He's training with... Bro, we're talking about an ACL. Players are on crutches by now. I mean, yeah, man, it's crazy. Is this recorded? Wait, why would I record a live stream? All right, you think I really have time in my day to sit here and record? That's crazy. Tottenham want 100 million euros for Kane up front. One upfront payment. Bayern ain't doing that. So yeah, let's hope no more injuries from the international break. I mean, actually, I'm curious. Who does Germany play? Germany national team. Who does Germany play? 25th, they play Peru. The 28th, they play Belgium. I was kind of curious how Musiala and Florian Wirtz would play together, but I guess not, right? And also Sane wasn't called up. That's fine. I love Leroy Sané's attitude. People say Sané's attitude stinks. Bro, this guy got so much hate for really no reason. Even at the World Cup, the dude came on and was the reason Germany ultimately equalized. He changed the game against Spain. If Spain beat Japan, no one's going to talk about how bad Sane was. They're going to talk about how he changed the game and how great he did. It was Germany's fault for losing in the first place to Spain, respecting them too much, and ultimately losing. But Sane got unnecessary hate. He never came out in the media. He never complained. I've never seen Sane do an interview about how fans at Bayern, blah blah blah. But he's chill. People are going after his girlfriend because apparently Sane and his girlfriend are City fans. Well, no, I think his girlfriend's a City fan. Like, what's wrong with that? I mean, he's at Bayern. He left Manchester City for us to be in Germany, be close to his friends, and because we're a big club and we're going to win the Champions League and City won't. There's nothing inherently wrong with, that action from Leroy Sané. But, there's a section of Bayern fans that just make it their life's goal to hate Sané every day. And, it's not even like criticism of his form or anything like that. It's just, I don't like you, so I'm going to hate on you. So Leroy, not being in the Germany team, still, smiling with Hansi Flick. For a guy that was supposedly full of attitude problems, I have not seen a single instance of Sané showing terrible attitude, apart from maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he used to lose the ball and he wouldn't press. Now he's a pressing machine. So you can't really criticize him over his attitude. What you can criticize him over now is his footballing consistency, because this is a guy that can do all the great things he did in that game against Leverkusen. He did some great things. He was very important in the first goal. But then in other moments, he's too casual, So sometimes it just feels like he's not 100% focused on, let me get this pass correct. And so, I think Leroy, he's not Gnabry. Gnabry's just terrible at the moment. And I'm bringing this up because apparently the board is going to make a decision on selling Sané or Gnabry. So that's going to be an interesting decision they have to make. Sabitzer wants to stay at Bayern. Konrad Leimer to Bayern could be finalized during this international break. I really don't want Leimer at Bayern. So Pletty goal, right? Florian Plettenberg, very accurate, says if one of Leroy Sané or Serge Gnabry has to leave, the clear tendency is towards Gnabry. The latter, subject to a lot of criticism lately, would not be against moving on, though nothing is decided at the moment. Yeah, Gnabry's been here for longer than Sané has and has shown me less. And I swear he's older than Sané too. Is he older? Dog, when's his birthday? They're just giving me a year. When's Serge Gnabry's birthday? Bro, yeah. Serge's he's gonna turn 28. Sané's a younger man. And has been here for less time and still performs better than Gnabry. So, save your, Sané and Gnabry are in the same conversation to yourself, man. They're not. Bayern could lose points. We are in the final stretch of the championship. Yeah, this is that point in the season where you don't need injuries. But thankfully, it's only 2 weeks. Thankfully, but Nagelsmann has to learn from this. You can't risk players. If Musiala isn't fully fit and ready against Dortmund, thankfully, or not Dortmund, what's the team I'm thinking? City, Manchester City. If he's not fully there, thankfully there's games around that time. So there's games 3 days before, 6 days before. So we play a lot of games in April. If he's not ready, don't play him. Don't take that huge risk. Just don't, man. It would be a disaster if he got injured longer than for an important second leg he wasn't fit. I'd be pissed. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button on the stream. Gnabry was instrumental in the man. I missed that Gnabry, but every time I see him play, I'm just like, oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna turn into that version of Gnabry again. And then it's like the same like mistakes, same terrible passes. I feel so bad, but at the same time, I'm just so over it. I'm tired of thinking, oh, this haircut is going to make him come into his own. Yeah, man. Bayern need a destroyer DM like Brazovic to accompany with Kimmich, just like us to get a company with Pedri and De Jong. You know, I think for a few years I didn't think so. I was just like, I'm fine. We don't need a DM, some Casemiro type, but I actually really see why it's important. Look how many Champions League trophies Real Madrid win. Bro, it's because they have that midfield bond, Modric, Tony Kroos, Casemiro. If Modric is out, Camavinga. And now they have Chouameni instead of Casemiro, who I would argue is better on the ball and just as capable defensively with a few errors here and there because he's young. Dude, we need that. I don't want Conrad Leimer. I think we should sign Danny Ceballos. I know you guys probably think, what am I saying? Ceballos is out of contract. He could be a decent backup to Kimmich. I think instead of Leimer, we sign that guy, Danny Ceballos, 26 years old. An absolute bowler. I mean, dude, he's so good on the ball. Changed his career. I mean, he wasn't that great at Arsenal, but I wonder how much, if that was more down to like maybe Arsenal at the time. If he was playing for Arsenal now, he would be so good for them. Like next to Thomas Partey instead of Xhaka, bro, he would cook. And even when he played at Arsenal, I always thought, man, he's so press resistant. I'd love Danny Ceballos. I think he's just a downgrade of Luka Modric. Like just really good on the ball, great ball carrying, great and crazy tight moments. So I genuinely think you guys should, open your heart to that. And he's cheap. He's free. Nah, man, he's free. Yeah, Danny Ceballos. He'd be free transfer. That's the kind of thing we need, not Conrad Leimer. That's the kind of free transfer we need. You know who needs him? I think RB Leipzig could probably go for someone like him. Or Dortmund to replace Mo Dahoud. But I wonder if Ceballos is going to ask for a lot of money. Or he's holding out thinking he can get a bigger contract in Madrid. But you can't let a player like that go play for freaking Real Betis. Because that's one of those players, you play him in the Europa League and you're like, why isn't this guy at a bigger club when they're 29? So, hold on. My mother's just calling me, man, while I'm live streaming. That's how I know she don't watch my streams, bro. She don't care about Bayern now. She doesn't even know what Bayern Munich is. Let's ship City and convince Rodri. I mean, I feel jealous with Rodri because he's everything. He's on the ball, amazing, and off it, he's just as amazing. So I'd love Rodri at Bayern. I just think he doesn't have that. Oh, you know what I mean? That raw energy. Like Javi Martinez had it. Rodri doesn't. Javi would kill you. Like him and Casemiro are kind of similar. Man, we really ruined Javi, man. Pep came in here, said, "Oh, you're not great on the ball. I'll play you at center back." Injuries as well. Javi Martinez, a lot of Bayern fans say he's a Bayern legend. I say he's a club icon, not a legend, because legend would mean I'm placing him on the same level as Lothar Matthäus. I just can't do that. Javi is an icon, but he could have really been a legend if, injuries and also playing in the same position. Imagine, bro, prime Javi Martinez in 2012, bro, 2013, that Champions League run, dog. He had that dog in him, bro. That whoa. That midfield Miastro, bro, he would track runners, break ankles. break up play. That's why that 2013 team looks so stable, because Javi Martinez was covering it up. And I feel like we haven't had that. And isn't it crazy that every time we won the Champions League, we needed a defensive midfielder, a breaker? Like, look at Thiago in 2020. People don't look, but Thiago was our CDM. He was our defensive midfielder, and Goretzka was next to him. That power. Thiago controlled the game. Kimmich was a right back for the Champions League campaign. Bro, in those tight European games, you need that power man, that macho. That's why Madrid are so successful in the UCL. They always have that. They always have that lanky midfielder who doesn't do anything else but defend, who helps the back line, forcing them to play a back four because there's the protection from the midfield. We play a back three because we don't really have a CDM. I'd love that. I love that Moises Caicedo guy. I'd love him at Bayern. Someone just really capable of breaking lines. We need players. We need a CDM like that for the next generation. We signed that Keeley kid. Forgot his full name, but Noel Aseko Keeley, Equatorial Guinean. Okay, bro, he's that kind of CDM. Man, Benassar's slow. Ishmael Benassar is a dream signing. Well, Rhythm's saying that because he's a Barca fan, so he's saying a dream signing for Barcelona. Gravenberch has been forgotten. Gravenberch isn't a CDM. He's a central midfielder, a box-to-box, and he's being misused by Julian Nagelsmann. He shouldn't be playing in Musiala's number 8.5, number 10 sometimes. He needs to be playing deeper. Remember that Stuttgart game where Gravenberch came on for 40 minutes and basically gave us control, which led to us equalizing? Remember that? Where Kimmich scored? Wait. No, I'm tripping. Nah, which game was it where Kimmich scored from outside the box? Was it Union Berlin? Might have been Union Berlin. The 1-1? No. Bro, Kimmich scored. Was it Mainz or something? Mainz, Bayern? Let me see. Oh, nah. We were struggling to get control of the game. And then Kimmich. Oh, maybe Cologne? Yeah, it might have been Cologne. Yeah. January 24th, the 1-1 where Kimmich scored in the 90th minute. Gravenberch came on and Goretzka came off. Bro, it was Gravenberch was playing deeper than Kimmich. I feel like that was one of Gravenberch's best games. We had 78% possession in that game. Damn. We conceded early in the game, and it got hard to control the game because they made their midfielders really active in duels. So Gravenberch came on, gave us so much control at the end. That's what we need Gravenberch to do instead of playing alongside as a backup to Musiala. We need him to play as a backup to Goretzka. That's where managers need to trust players sometimes. I know Gravenberch isn't the most capable defensively, but he's not going to learn that by just never playing. There's a reason Liverpool want him. There's a reason. So many clubs wanted Gravenberch and still do, even though he's not playing. He has crazy potential, man. The kid is gifted on the ball. I think Nagelsmann tells Gravenberch to make his game simple, which is why when he comes on, he's just making sideways passes. We got to make Gravenberch work. Bayern won't sell him because even Bayern believe in his potential. So let's see what happens. I really want Ryan Gyro Gravenberch to do well, man. Detroit Rock City with the super chat. No trophies equals Kahn slapping Nagelsmann out of Bayern. Man, you really don't like Julian, man. Damn, we really actually could technically not win a trophy. Oh, I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, no, we really could miss out on a big trophy. According to the Mirror, Harry Kane will force a move away from Spurs this summer after yet another trophyless season. He's finally had enough. Kane's a weird wuss, I gotta say, because you're the face of England and you're playing for Tottenham and you don't have a trophy and your focus is to beat Alan Shearer's record. I don't want to spend no 100 million on Kane. I know that that's a lot of money. We can invest better. You know, I try to get Verscalia or so if we really need a striker, Osimhen is not bad. You know, I just don't like these, you know, lanky, fast strikers. Sometimes I feel like these. I feel like they're just way too athletic to be a striker. But maybe that's the modern game. I feel like in Serie A, Osimhen gets space. Everyone's slow. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupid and immature here. I just feel like Serie A is easier, and I know I shouldn't be criticizing leagues, but Osimhen's, you know, I think he's a better striker than, you know, Kolomuani. Like Osimhen is he's a better striker. Like his all-round striking game is better than Kolomuani. Kolomuani, to me, needs development. I don't think Kolomuani is going to be one of those players to have, you know, an 8-year career at like a Real Madrid. No, he might need another season at Frankfurt to develop his all-round game. Frankfurt need to buy some good players, surround him with, you know, and make him have to not be the main man. I feel like that's where a player like him will really thrive, where maybe they get someone else that does the playmaking. So, because Kolomuani has so many assists, what I'm saying is he's a player that needs space to operate, and if he doesn't have space, he looks average. So maybe to improve his all-round game, make him have to work in tight spaces while other players around him do the playmaking and drop deep to collect the ball and make something happen. Make him have to win headers, you know, and hold up play. That's what I want from a striker. Bro, Benzema is such a class striker against Barcelona. Do you guys watch Benzema? Like, watch him not from the perspective of, oh, this is Real Madrid and this is Benzema. Watch him as a striker. His movement, he moves into the inside left pocket, links up with Vinny Jr., the way he picks up the ball on his chest and just brings it down and spreads it out wide and then makes a run in. Bro, he's 35 doing that. Imagine what Kolomuani, and he's doing this like most of his striking at an older age. You don't need to be 24 and moving to Man United. Bro, you can develop, make yourself useful, and maybe even at 27, you move. You move for 80 million. You don't have to move now. Players are too focused on social media followers. They don't care about their careers. You could go to Real Madrid for 3 years and win more trophies than you would by moving to, you know, some Spurs just to make money. And you could make more money at Madrid in 3 years or Bayern. So I think Kolomuani, players like that, and even Osimhen, bro, your all-around game is okay, but it's not perfect. Develop that. Haaland, his all-around game needs help. And if he wasn't at Man City and he went to Man United, he wouldn't be scoring like he is. Or if you went to Spurs or something. I don't know. So I think Kane, yeah, I don't mind Kane. As long as Kane promises to stay fit, then I don't mind. But I'm at this point where, do I really want a guy who's more focused on Alan Shearer's record of most Prem goals in history over trophies? Like, he cares more about a freaking record than the meaningfulness of his goals. He doesn't want to win trophies. That's not a player I want at Bayern. Osimhen is 26. I thought he was 24. Oh, maybe he is a bit older. No, he's 24. What are you talking about, man? Yeah, he just turned 24, December. Yeah, dude, what are you talking about? Nah, give him 2 years at Napoli. Like, Why do you have to move out of Napoli? Napoli are on top of the world. If Osimhen moves, Osimhen, bro, its name is so hard. Osimhen, if he moves out of Napoli with all the goals and Champions League records, bro, you could get to a Champions League final. And if you do, why don't you try to win it another season after? Why do you have to move to Bayern or Real Madrid or Chelsea? Or why? Why can't you just chill at the club that's successful? You got Kvaratskhelia. Bro, you could build something at Napoli. You could become the next Juve. Napoli are impeccable, bro. I don't know why. If you spend 2 years at Napoli, play there till you're 26 and have all these trophies, a Serie A, maybe even a Champions League. Imagine if Napoli win the Champions League this year. They could. They got an easy bracket. They'll beat AC Milan. They'll beat Benfica. They're in the final already, in my eyes. So imagine if you go to a final, and let's say we're not there. If we're there, I believe we'll win. But let's say it's freaking Real Madrid. You might catch them on an off day. You might catch Man City on an off day. They're not a good final team. So why don't you just take your mind off of wanting to move for money and build that legacy at Napoli? You know what Samuel Eto'o did that I respected so much? He could have stayed at the bigger club, Barcelona, but he said, I'm going to go to Inter Milan and play for this, manager, Jose Mourinho, and I'm going to win. And he won. He won a Champions League, and his legacy grew. That's respectable. You can't just keep moving at 24, 23. Players are moving too quick these days. You can move to a club at 29 and spend 3 years there and win a lot and build the great legacy and become a cult hero for the fans. You don't have to move like Sancho. Jaden, what did I say about Sancho? Stay at freaking Dortmund for 2 more seasons. If Sancho was still at Dortmund and moved next year, he would be 23. He moved to Man United as a 20-year-old young man, thinking I'm me. And then adversity came, and now he can barely get a game. Now, he did all right in the game against Fulham, but bro, you suck. You have declined so much. You went from Dortmund's best winger, one of the better players in Europe, to just looking bang average. Imagine if Sancho stayed at Dortmund for another year or 2 years or even 3 years. You could have been a top-level footballer. No one would be questioning you. Imagine Kvaratskhelia joining PSG. That would be a disaster. That would be the worst thing that could happen because they're going to turn him into another one of their players that doesn't get any game time or ruins his career. Nah. He can't go to PSG. They're willing to splash $159 million to land him. Nah, man. That's going to be another Neymar-esque signing. He's going to come to PSG and never win anything and ruin his reputation. Nah, bro. I'd rather have this guy should be trying to go to. I know they suck right now, but if Liverpool get Champions League football, then you should be trying to go there. His agent said he'd either end up at Bayern or Real Madrid. So Bayern should be realistically trying. I think if we go to if we win the Champions League and go to Kvaratskhelia and say, hey, we want you. Reject PSG. That's our negotiation tactic, and it's a brilliant tactic that Bayern employ. It's why we're so good at getting players on a cheap. We went to Man City and said, actually, we didn't go to Man City. If you remember, we actually went to Sané and said, come to us. And Sané went to City and said, I want to go to Bayern. There can't be a bidding war. Sané realistically should have been getting bids all over, but the reason he wasn't getting bids is he probably said, hell no, I'm not going to United. I'm not going to Chelsea. I want to go to Bayern. I don't want to go to Madrid. I don't want Barcelona. Bro, of course they all wanted him, right? This is Leroy Sané. And City just had no choice but to negotiate with us. Getting a player to reject other clubs and choose one club means the club that they're at, they can't do anything else. They just have to accept that I can only negotiate with one. It's like if you're trying to rizz up a baddie, right? trying to spit W Riz, Maxim game. All you got to do is clear the way. Like, maybe this is a terrible analogy. Well, isn't it easier when it's just you and her, but she don't have friends in her ear, like those cock block friends who are ugly that want that girl to be unhappy. So, this is stupid. Terrible analogy. They don't all work. What I'm trying to say is, if you get the player to reject other offers, then it doesn't matter what if there's a bidding war or if they're an expensive player, because they'll just come to you. Of course, you have to give Napoli a reasonable offer. You can't go to them with a player of Kvaratskhelia stature and say, "Oh, I'm going to give you, 50 million." Nah, he's going to be a 70 million player. We got, De Ligt to reject Chelsea. I think Man United might have wanted him. I don't know. Arsenal might have certainly wanted him, but Chelsea were really serious. We got him to reject Chelsea. He went to Juve and said, "I only want Bayern." And then now it's up to Bayern to give Juve like a real offer. Like, hey, look, we're here. We're going to give you, 50 million over the next, 4 years, and then plus, 10 million. It's really 55 million plus, 10 million in add-ons, which leads up to 75 million. But it's only like 12 million. It's over the next 4 years. So we don't even have to pay that much. And those add-ons come from bonuses and all sorts of things. Like maybe if he scores 10 goals or wins the Champions League, we have to pay some money. Or wins the Bundesliga once or 3 times in a row. I don't know. So yeah, I think it's a great strategy. If we go to Napoli and say we want your player, and their player only wants us, Napoli can't expect the bidding war. Bro, if you think Kvaratskhelia wouldn't rather come to Bayern over PSG as a footballer, you're crazy. Nah, he would. His agent already said he's either going to end up at Bayern or Real Madrid. Even if he went to PSG, he's not going to stay there for the rest of his life. Dude, I think social media has diluted the levels of the real meaning of football heritage. People think players are just going to play for anybody. But there's certain players, they have to know that Bayern's a bigger club than PSG, right? It doesn't matter how many social media followers they have. Bayern's just a bigger club. Like, in their heads, they know that. So I think, there's a reason Leroy Sané wanted to come to Bayern. De Ligt, why did De Ligt choose Bayern? Players they're not just looking at, like the league. They're looking at their career. Like, do I want to spend all my life at Juventus, or do I want to go to Bayern? Do I want to go to Chelsea where they change managers? Players are thinking about that. They're going, do I really want to go to a club like Chelsea that just had a new owner and they're not proven? There's a reason players go to City. Like, even though they don't have no history, players look at City and they go, damn, like, for the next 10 years, I know where City will be, because they have this, recent history of consistently competing for things, and they're in the Champions League every year. Of course, I'm trying to go to City, right? I don't want to go to Chelsea because it's only the players that are hungry for money, which is why clubs like Chelsea fall apart and need rebuilds every 3 years. When does Bayern ever need a rebuild? We won a Champions League in 2020, the year we were getting through a transition. Like, we were supposed to be rebuilding, and we won the Champions League. And then the year where we bought a bunch of players and we're supposed to be really good, we lost to Villarreal. There's no such thing as a rebuild. Real Madrid had a rebuild that lasted about 5 months. Everyone thought, oh, they're bad. And then now look at them, Camavinga, Chouameni. Bro, they replaced Toni Kroos like nothing. Like, now they got friggin' Camavinga. They got all these bowlers. It's because when you have the consistent structure, players know what to expect. And the profile of player you always look out for is always going to come to you. And that's the truth. Kvaratskhelia is basically Frank Ribery, but Georgian. but not Georgia like in the US. Georgia like the country in Europe next to Asia. Sabitzer needs to play more. Needs one more year at Bayern. Steve Barboza. This man is killing me with this Sabitzer propaganda, man. You're killing me, Smalls. Vara has chosen to join a farmers league. Going to League One is crazy, bro. I don't respect that. Because, I mean, you can make fun of the Bundesliga all you want, but at least we have teams in the Champions League. Name a single League One team in the quarterfinals right now or in the Europa League. Oh my God. I can't. Because, wait, for real? They don't exist? That's outrageous. I don't know if our players are mentally ready to win the Champions League this year. The arena is a scary place. I'm guessing you're a City fan because you have blue and Aguero. FFS, we have history. It's just not rich like your Real Madrid, Bayern, etc. Well, PSG will have more history than RB Leipzig, but let's not get it twisted here. Like, you know, we all know how you got where you are. Like, you didn't wake up. You weren't self-made. You know, you had daddy's money, that oil money, man, that olive oil money from the Qataris. So, no, I mean, it's good that you're honest about it. I mean, but yeah, players do look at that. They look at consistency in the stature of the club over time. Players want to go to stable clubs, but players that want money go to clubs for money, like maybe Man United with Jadon Sancho. Sancho probably thought, I'm not always good. See, that's a lack of self-confidence. Why, you know, this is why I was so weirded out when what's that dude from Ajax? He was trying to go to Chelsea really bad. And in hindsight, I can understand from his perspective why he was really pushing Edson Alvarez. Like, he was really trying to push his way out to Chelsea, and maybe he could still, you know, end up at, you know, Chelsea or Arsenal apparently. But like the way he was pushing himself out of his own club last summer, what did that tell me? It told me he doesn't believe he could actually improve from here. Like, he doesn't have that self-confidence where my move got rejected. Well, doesn't matter because I'm going to have another great season. And it's not just Chelsea that's going to want me. Man United, you know, all these clubs, maybe even Real Madrid might want me. Even Bayern might want me. He didn't believe in himself. He was trying to push his way out. Like, why can't players just go, it doesn't matter. I'll be where I need to go. Okay? I'll still be at my high level, and I'll still play for a high level club. I forgot Arsenal got obliterated out of the Europa League. It was good. I swear, Portuguese names just sound so good. Yeah, bro, I swear. It's like Francisco Trincao. Bro, that just sounds like you have skill. Bayern defense is just so good, and we have one of the best midfield duos, and the attack is top of the cherry. Why would any City fan think they can go through Bayern cleanly if it will be rigged? Well, our defense, we have the elements, right? The capacities. We have the capacities to win the Champions League. I always say this, at least the season. I say this. I'm saying that I only started saying it this season. The capacity is like, we just gonna have a goal line clearance, you know, a whole goal line clearance. Oh, bro, that game versus City. Why do we have to draw City? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not like moved by City that much as I used to be, because they're not the same city. They're very one dimensional. But isn't that like from UEFA's perspective? Can't they at least rig the draw? Because that's a freaking final right there. Well, technically we got a final over 2 legs. But bro, imagine like having City twice instead of like a big final. The hype, because it'd be tradition versus oil, and we of course beating them in the final would be so much better and more satisfying. But now we got to play each other in a freaking quarterfinal. Well, that could be a semifinal too, because look at the other bracket. We're gonna see AC Milan versus freaking Napoli, bruh. Oh, you know what I just thought about? Benfica could be like the Morocco of the Champions League. No one expects them to do anything. Next thing you know, they're in the semifinal of the World Cup. Damn, Morocco really got to a semifinal. W's that. W's in chat for Morocco. Morocco in the chat, man. All right. Well, it's been a great show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love the comments after are like, oh, why are you taking so long? Like, why is the show 40 minutes? It's like when I start talking and we're having a conversation, I say something, you guys say something back. Like that's what makes the show fun. So I appreciate all of the interactions in the chat. Man, I really do. It's fun. This is a match that people have been wanting for years. It's finally happening, I guess. I think it couldn't. I think if we lose this, you can clip me. It's gonna be us losing. Like it's gonna. No, that was so dumb that I just said if we lose, it's gonna be us. Of course, that's what it means. No, but I mean like if we lose, it's gonna look worse on us. If City beats us, then it looks better on them because technically we have been the better team in the Champions League. We are like on top of you when it comes to favorites to win it for the first time in years. So it's going to be a huge game. So I can't wait for it. PSG International did a stream for 5 hours. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of time, bro. Yeah. You guys are getting me longer today because I don't know. I don't have much to do in the middle of this day, but in about an hour I have to go. I started working out later. So instead of that, 1 p.m. workout, I'm starting to do this 7 p.m. Not gonna lie, man, it hits pretty well. I don't mind working out later. And plus, the sun is starting to stay up longer. So now 7 p.m. isn't like dark. After 8, black is no longer a thing. 9 is where it really goes down. When does the sun? I was like driving somewhere. Yeah, it now sets at 7. Hey, that's great, man. I love that. The sun went from setting at like 5 to 7 p.m. That's 2 hours. That's awesome. I say 2020 is a sextuple winning team. You know what's crazy? We are probably a better team. Well, maybe, bar the midfield. Like, I think Thiago is better than, both Kimmich and Goretzka. Like, no one should argue with me. Like, no, Kimmich is great. He's world class. But in the same position, Thiago is better. Like, defensively, his all-round game. Wait, is that the cast for Ted Lasso at the White House? Oh shoot, dude, Ted Lasso is elite, man. I gotta say, Ted Lasso is a great show, bro. Yeah, I can't wait for episode 2 for this season. You guys gotta watch Ted Lasso. Oh shoot, boys! I finally watched Rocky 1 to bro. I watched so many Rockies. I watched so many Rocky movies. Bro, why they got 10 films, bruh? I was watching one, I was like, ah, cool, it's three. Bro, they got Rocky 5. And then I found out they had a movie just called Rocky Balboa. Like him old. Nah, the first movie was good. Second one was like, still like, I feel like they wrote it to be a one movie thing. Because, they can say, it was a franchise, but there's no way they wrote that to be like this multi-year. They found how successful it was. At, $1 million at the box office in 1976 was a lot of money back then, because things were cheaper in the world. But Rocky was just so good, dude. Like the first one, I've maybe a little bit overrated, right? A little bit overrated. But Apollo Creed he played that villain role pretty well. Rocky's a little bit overrated, but I thought the first one was good. Second one was like, why we didn't need a part two. But then it's the rematch. It kind of made sense. It's like, they want to finish out the battle. But I didn't realize how Sylvester Stallone just has this voice, man. He's so dumb. He's so dumb in the movie. Then Rocky 3 was like, no one asked. Like, he's fighting this random guy. He learns, how to actually box as opposed to just brawl and take punches to the face. I didn't realize Rocky. I thought Rocky was like a good boxer before I watched the movie. But bro, he sucked, man. He's just eating jabs to the face the whole time. Rocky 4, I just skipped. It's like you don't need that. And then I watched Rocky Balboa, in 2005. Wait, hell no, what the hell? Hold on. Oh, it was another boxing movie called Grudge Match. I just clicked on. Dude, now I want to go watch more movies. Raging Bull. Is that? I need to see that movie. I've never seen it. But yeah, Rocky was all right. It was just, yeah. Sylvester Stallone's he's a weirdo, man. Good actor though. Yeah, the final Rocky, bro. It's like you're milking it too much, man. Was that like part 5? They're doing the same thing with Creed, aren't they? It's like hella parts. I have never watched Creed, but now I want to, because apparently they're connected. Yeah, I watched the trailer for Creed 1. Oh, sure. Okay, it's on Amazon, so it looks like I can watch Creed 1. About Creed 2. Wait, decent Rotten Tomatoes over here, so it must be decent. But Creed 3 is what everyone's telling me is pretty good. All right, boys. I appreciate y'all watching. I don't know the schedule, right? It's an international break, which means football fatigue. I'm not gonna lie, with Musiala injured, it kind of sucks, but we move. It's not the end of the world. It's not, 10 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. So thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia, send me and peace.